Hello and welcome to Kids Corner on Armstrong Channel 20. I'm Miss Krista and I'm so excited today to be at South Range Elementary School with Mrs. Hoff's and Mrs. Tharp's third grade classes. We're going to read one of my favorite books, and I know it's probably one of your favorites too, The Lorax by Dr. Seuss. Of course, we're going to have a conversation about recycling and how important it is to take care of our earth. And after that, we are going to use some of our own recycling materials by making paper beads out of catalogs, just like this one. I hope that you love this book and our craft, and if you would love Armstrong to come to your school, have a grown-up email us at channel20, that's channel20@agoc.com. Enjoy the show. Okay, so you know my name, correct? Because you're third graders, right? My name's Miss Krista. Of course, you know Mr. Greg, and we are so excited that we get to come back 4 years later and visit a lot of you and meet some new friends and do the same thing that we've done in the past. What is the name of this show?
Armstrong.
Oh, okay, yes, good. Okay, Armstrong's where we work, Armstrong. What is the name of the show that we're on right now? What's the name of the show?
Kids Corner.
Kids Corner, bravo. And what do we do on this show? What do we do? What do we do?
Crafts, read books.
We do crafts and we read books. We sure do. Do you like to do crafts?
Yeah.
Oh, fantastic. We are going to do a craft today that I think everyone's going to enjoy if you're a boy or a girl. I try not to do too much princess stuff or tutu stuff or, you know, dinosaur stuff. I try to make it fun for both of you. And what's cool about this is I'm going to make something with you that is related to our book. I'll show you in a second. I'm going to make something with you that you're able to do at home when this is over. It's going to be from stuff you already have at home. So I know summer sometimes can be long. It's real fun when you get out, but a week later, I know I have kids, you're already bored. So you will have something to do, and also you'll have a pretty cool idea for a gift for your friends. And it's literally gonna cost like nothing. So you can make lots and lots and lots of this. So first, before we get started, to read a book that I know you've already read. Good, oh good, yes, okay, so people, but it is a book that I love. I pick one special class to do this book a year. What is the Lorax about? We're not calling spoiler alert, but what's the Lorax about, you in the pink?
My name is Katrina.
Katrina, very nice to meet you.
That girl in the pink, and...
That girl in the pink, indeed. Can I still call you that girl in the pink? Can I call you Katrina, that girl in the pink? Oh, fantastic, okay.
It's about the Lorax, and this guy comes and he's trying to cut down the trees to use their like feather leaves to make clothing and become rich. And he's trying to get him to stop because he wants the trees to live.
Yeah, what happened? What happens if you cut down trees? What are you supposed to do? If you cut down a tree, what are you supposed to do? What are the rules?
You have to plant a new one.
You have to plant a new one, right? Because if we cut down all the trees, there's not going to be any more trees. And that's why I picked today's special craft as well, because we won't have to cut down anything. We won't have to ruin anything. We are going to use stuff that normally you would have thrown away anyway. Okay? So shall we read our book? I know you've heard it 100 times. I've read it 100 times, and I still love it. The Lorax by Dr. Seuss. At the far end of town, where the grickle grass grows, and the wind smells slow and sour when it blows, and no birds ever sing excepting old crows, is the street of the lifted Lorax. And deep in the grickle grass, some people say, if you look deep enough, you can still see today where the Lorax once stood, just as long as it could, before somebody lifted the Lorax away. What was the Lorax? And why was it there? And why was it lifted and taken somewhere from the far end of town where the grickle grass grows? The old onceler still lives there. Ask him. He knows. You won't see the onceler. Don't knock at his door. He stays in his lurkum on top of his store. He lurks in his lurkum, cold under the roof, where he makes his own clothes out of muffered moof. And on special dank midnights in August, he peeks out of the shutters, and sometimes he speaks and tells how the Lorax was lifted away. He'll tell you, perhaps, if you're willing to pay. Do you remember what the payment was? On the end of a rope, he lets down a tin pail, and you have to toss in 15 cents and a nail, and the shell of a great-great-great-grandfather snail. Then he pulls up the pail, makes a most careful count to see if you've paid him the proper amount. Then he hides what you paid him away in his snoovie, his secret strange hole, in his grooveless glove. Then he grunts, I will call you by whispermophone, for the secrets I tell you are for your ears alone. Slap! Down slaps the whispermophone to your ear, and the old Onceler's whispers are not very clear, since they have to come down through a snargly hose, and he sounds as if he had smallish bees up his nose. Now I'll tell you, he says, with his teeth sounding gray, how the Lorax got lifted and taken away. It all started way back, such a long, long time back. Way back in the days when the grass was still green, and the pond was still wet, and the clouds were still clean, and the song of the swami swans rang, and out in space, one morning I came to this glorious place, and I first saw the trees, the truffula trees, the bright-colored tufts of the truffula trees, mile after mile, in the fresh morning breeze. Are they the prettiest trees? And under the trees I saw brown barbaloots, frisking about in their barbaloot suits as they played in the shade and ate truffula fruits. From the ripulous pond came the comfortable sound of the humming fish humming while splashing around. Some of you said you're going to Lake Erie this summer. Does that remind you a little bit of Lake Erie, seeing fresh trees and fish? But those trees, those truffula trees, all my life I've been searching for trees such as these. The touch of their tufts was much softer than silk, and they had the sweet smell of fresh butterfly milk. I felt a great leaping of joy in my heart. I knew just what I'd do. I unloaded my cart. Would you like to live there? I would. In no time at all, I had built a small shop. Then I chopped down the truffula tree with one chop. And with great skillful skill and with great speedy speed, I took the soft tuft and I knitted a sneed. The instant I finished, I heard a gazump. I looked, I saw something pop out of the stump of the tree I chopped down. It was sort of a man. Describe him, that's hard. I don't know if I can. He was shortish, and oldish, brownish, and mossy. He spoke with a voice that was sharpish and bossy. Mister, he said with a sawdusty sneeze, I am the Lorax, I speak for the trees. I speak for the trees have no tongues. And I'm asking you, sir, at the top of my lungs. He was very upset as he shouted and puffed, what's that thing you've made out of my truffula tuft? Look, Lorax, I said, there's no cause for alarm. I chopped just one tree, I'm doing no harm. I'm being quite useful. This thing is a need. A need's something that all people need. It's a shirt, it's a sock, it's a glove, it's a hat. But it has other uses, yes, far beyond that. You can use it for carpets, for pillows, for sheets, or curtains, or covers for bicycle seats. The Lorax said, sir, you are crazy with greed. There is no one on earth who would buy that full need. Do you think people would buy the need? People tend to buy everything. But wait, you ever see that at night? Could you see a need on TV late at night? But wait, there's more. But the very next minute, I proved he was wrong. For just at that minute, a chap came along, and he thought that the need I had knitted was great. He happily bought it for $3.98. I laughed at the Lorax, you poor stupid guy. You never can tell what some people will buy. I'm busy, I told him, shut up if you please. I rushed across the room and in no time at all built a radiophone. I put in a quick call. I called on my brothers and uncles and aunts and I said, listen here, here's a wonderful chance for the whole Onceler family to get mighty rich. Get over here fast, take the road to North Nitch. Turn left at Weehawken, sharp right at South Stitch. So he's creating jobs, right? Not bad. He created something he thought people needed. He's creating some jobs. Let's see where it goes from there. And in no time at all in the factory I built was the whole Onceler family was working full tilt. We were all knitting needs, just as busy as bees, to the sound of the chopping of truffle trees. Did he chop just one tree? Then, oh baby, oh, how my business did grow. Now chopping one tree at a time, too slow. So I quickly invented my super axe hacker, which whacked off 4 truffle trees at one smacker. We were making needs 4 times as fast as before, and that Lorax, he didn't show up anymore. But the next week he knocked on my new office door. He snapped, "I'm the Lorax who speaks for the trees, which you seem to be chopping as fast as you please. But I'm also in charge of the brown barbaloots, who played in the shade in their barbaloot suits and happily lived, eating truffle fruits. Now, thanks to your hacking my trees to the ground, there's not enough truffle fruit to go round. And my poor barbaloots are all getting the crummies because they have gas and no food in their tummies." They loved living here, but I can't let them stay. They'll have some food, and I hope that they may. "Good luck, boys," he cried, and he sent them away. I, the Onceler, felt sad, as I watched them all go. But business is business, and business must grow, regardless of crummies and tummies, you know. I meant no harm. I most truly did not. But I had to grow bigger, so bigger I got. I biggered my factory. I biggered my roads. I biggered my wagons. I biggered my loads. Of the needs I shipped out, I was shipping them forth to the south, to the east, to the west, to the north. I went right on biggering, selling more needs, and I biggered my money, which everyone needs. Does everyone need money? Well, yeah, you need some, right? It depends on how much do you need, right? You need to buy clothes and food and maybe go to the movies every once in a while. Then again he came back. I was fixing some pipes when the old nuisance Lorax came back with more gripes. "I am the Lorax." He coughed and he whiffed. He sneezed and he snuffled. He snargled, he sniffed. "Onceler," cried with a crofulous croak. "Onceler, you're making such smogulous smoke. My poor swami swans, why they can't sing a note. No one can sing who has smog in his throat." So to make our bracelets or keychains or necklaces, whatever you choose to make. And this is a cool thing because some of you might make 8 of these, some of you might only want to make 2 of these. You can make as many as you like. We are going to use old catalogs, okay? And how I made these beads using old catalogs is just like this. I'm going to show you so that you can do them at home. Here is an old catalog. Actually, it's actually a new catalog, but I looked through it already. It's Pottery Barn. So we're good. Got some ideas. So here's what I'm going to do. I have a big ruler, or you could use any size ruler. Start, instead of going 1 inch out, I'm going to take ½ an inch out, but then after I make, so I made that first mark at the ½ inch, I'm going to take 1 inch after that. I just want that to be my first point, has to be a ½ inch in. So now I have a little bit of Mod Podge, you have it in front of you, and I put it on my cotton swab. Then, you know what? I like this side better than this side. This side's prettier, so I'm going to put that on the outside. I'm not going to glue that side. I am going to take the Mod Podge. I am putting it straight down the middle. I am being very careful not to get it on the desk because Mod Podge is not very easy to clean up. I'm going to take my dowel rod. You can also at home, if you don't have these are about, you could get a pack of 12 for about $1 at Walmart. You could also get them at Hobby Lobby or Michael's Craft Store, anywhere that has a craft section. You can also use a straw. just a regular drinking straw, okay? I'm gonna take this, and this is the hardest part is the beginning. You gotta bend it a little bit and start rolling. I'm gonna get it started here. Okay, so I have it started, and now carefully, I'm gonna just start rolling it up. And guess what? That Mod Podge is gonna start mushing out the sides. And that's okay. It's okay for it to mush out the sides because what you can do is spread it around the whole thing. There's some mush. You just spread it around the whole thing. Your hands are gonna get messy. All the way down to the triangle. I might need a little bit more glue at the end. I just took it around, and voila, you have a bead.